Red beans and rice, but even easier because today I'm going to show you how to make them in your crock pot. Hi, my name's Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my sister Carrie's kitchen. My sister Carrie and I are on a mission to teach real families how to make real food at home on a budget. And we know that you guys are too busy to worry about what's for dinner. So because of that, we love using our crock pot. We love it so much. We even, of course, made a crock pot digital cookbook. If you haven't already gotten that, I've linked that in the description below. So today, the crock pot I will be using is the beautiful multi-cooker. The Beautiful is the brand name from the Drew Barrymore line at Walmart. If you haven't checked it out, I'm going to link it in the description below for you. But you can use any crock pot for today's recipe, even your 1,000,000-year-old crock pot that you got for your wedding. That's going to work great. That's the best thing about crock pots. They seem to like almost last a lifetime. But if you're in the market for a new one, we are loving this one. It's a really good price point. I've also linked a post where we have all of our favorite crock pots, so you can check that out as well. All right, let's get this meal cooking. So today we're making red beans and rice, which is like a classic Creole recipe. I think it's from like the Louisiana area. It's wonderful, easy, and the secret is it's made with red beans. So for today, I'm going to use dried red beans. It's very affordable. We're using a whole pound right here for today's recipe, and this is what really gives it that classic New Orleans style flavor. First, you want to rinse your beans. So I just put them in a colander or a strainer in the sink. And we're just going to rinse them off. And then I kind of just go through them. Sometimes there's debris in the bag. You just want to remove any of that debris. I'm not seeing any today, so we should be good. And then we're just going to put this right into our crock pot. Make sure your crock pot is at least 6 quarts. Most average ones are 6 quarts, so you should be good. And then we're going to add our sausage. So for classic red beans and rice, you want Andouille sausage. Hopefully I said that right. You want about 2 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and slice it. I like slicing it at a diagonal just for the looks. The taste is all the same, but we're going to slice it and throw that right into the crock pot with the beans. You want that sausage cooking with the beans so it gets that wonderful flavor. I like to make sound effects when I'm chopping. It just helps me. Like pew, pew. I don't know. Do you guys do that in the kitchen? Let me know in the comments. My diagonal got off, but it's okay. I'm going to try to get back on in the straight part here. The flavor is all the same, but you just want it in like skinny rings. This sausage doesn't take long to warm up and cook in the crock pot, but you're really just adding it in to really add flavor to those beans. Got it all diced up, and then add that to your crock pot as well with the beans. Now, when I went to get my andouille sausage today, there was all sorts of like flavor options. If it's not called andouille, you can get like smoked sausage link. That works as well. I got a Cajun one today because I was like, ooh, let's try it. I think that'll be really good in this. So if you have options, just stick to like a regular plain or a Cajun and it's going to taste great. Okay, sorry guys, I said dice. Those are sliced, sorry. I just used dice for like cut up. I know, it's not right. Now we're gonna get our veggies ready. So for all of the veggies for today's recipe, you want them chopped up. So I'm going to use our veggie chopper. If you've been following us for a while, you know that we are obsessed with this thing. It's a great way to save time in the kitchen. And we're almost on like soup and stew season. So you're gonna be chopping up lots of veggies. So now is the time to invest in this bad boy. I've linked it below on Amazon. I think it's generally under $20, but it goes on sale all the time. So just watch it. So for today, I'm going to do 1 whole onion. I like to do a yellow onion for flavor. So when you chop your onion in this chopper, what I recommend is cut your onion in half and then cut it in half again, each half in half again. So essentially we're quartering the onion. Then take each quarter and we're going to add it to our chopper. And when you add it to the chopper, point the little cut point side down to make sure everything gets chopped up into small pieces. Okay, so point the point side down just like that. Sorry, that's just a little sausage from my knife, but it's okay. It's going right in the pot. And then sometimes you got to bang it and it's all nice and chopped. Okay, guys, I'm not emotional about red beans and rice, I swear, but the onions are getting to me. Okay, now it's time to add a little green bell pepper. So I'm just going to add it all to the chopper and then dump it all in at once. So when I do the green bell pepper or any bell pepper really in a chopper, what I like to do is cut off just the, I don't know what you're going to call it. I'm going to say like the outside portions. I just kind of move it along the side and cut it vertically down. And then if you get some of this like rind or stem and it bothers you, you can just use your knife to trim it right out. Some people don't care about it. It doesn't bother some people. Some people care about it the texture wise. So that's going to be completely up to you. But if you just cut around the outside, you really avoid getting most of those seeds. This is a sink right here. And then you just want to take your little pieces and add it to the chopper. And if it doesn't fit, I just cut them in half and then chop each one in half again from there. Okay, just one more veggie to add, and that is celery. We're going to do 3 stalks of celery. Now, when I chop up celery, I get all the little leaves off and before I add it to the chopper. And then I'm going to cut off the large end. I usually do about there. And then sometimes if the top is looking, you know, a little brown or whatever, I'll just trim the top because I don't want that in my red beans and rice. And then I don't like this little part, so I always cut it out. That's just my personal preference. I think it adds funky texture. Everyone's different. Now the celery, you want to get it small enough where it fits perfectly in your chopper, but you can usually do multiple at a time. Got to push a little bit harder with those strings in there. See if I can get this. I was singing that song, bang, bang, bang. There you go. Still easier than cutting it all by hand. Another celery, I'm just going to cut off that funky end. Now, if you have a bunch of celery left over, like you bought a bag, make sure you freeze it because you can save it for other crock pot recipes and you can throw it in frozen and it's going to work great. So all the veggies are chopped. I just always leave them right in the bin because they're going to just go right from here to the crock pot. All right, now it's time to add the seasoning. So we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I am using pre-minced garlic. If you like to mince your own, probably do about 3 or 4 cloves. The more, the better. And then you can't have red beans and rice without Creole seasoning. That's how I say it. I might be saying it wrong. Cajun seasoning. That's easier, right? Creole. Now, I love this brand, the Tony's brand. It's my favorite. I'm going to link it for you guys below, but any is going to work. We are going to use a tablespoon of this. Now, it does give it a little kick. If you're nervous about it, start with about half a tablespoon. My measuring spoon here is a half a tablespoon. That's why I'm doing it twice. And then you can always taste test it at the end and add in more if you like. This is kind of like, it's not like salt, but it is like salt. You can top it with more, or if you have some kids that are sensitive to spice, you can always reduce it in the meal. And then when you serve it, you can serve it with your Cajun seasoning so people can add on more if they would like at that time. And then we are going to add a teaspoon of salt and pepper. These seasoning containers are so cute. Of course, they're linked below. Shameless plug. Now, we just link it in case you guys are in the market for it. So no pressure. It's just, hey, we get a lot of comments on where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? So we link it all below for you. Salt and pepper. Then we're going to do a teaspoon of dried oregano and a teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. And then last but not least, some chicken broth. Now we are doing 7 cups chicken broth in this recipe. That was 3 cups. One of these cartons here is 4 cups. So I'm going to do this whole carton. Now, I know it sounds like a lot. The beans, since they are dried beans, they're going to soak up a ton. And that's why we do so much. You could probably do 4 cups chicken broth, 3 cups water if you wanted to save a little bit. You could use your chicken bouillon if you prefer. You do you. I do recommend either broth or bouillon to give this that added flavor, especially while those beans cook. Okay, if you guys can hear Rosie and Rio playing in the background, let me know in the comments below. If you're new here, Rosie and Rio are Carrie and I's brother and sister puppies. I don't know if they're still puppies. They're over a year now, but they act like puppies, and they love playing while we make videos. So make sure you tell them hi in the comments below. Now the only thing left to do is cook it. So cover your crock pot with the lid, and we're going to cook this on high, guys, on high for 6 to 8 hours. Now, pick your jaws up off the floor. I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of time on high, but we need to cook it that long for those dried beans to get them cooked through, tender, packed with flavor. So trust me on this. We're going to cook this over on high. Let me get it turned on here and get the time up. Okay, good. All right. We cannot cook this on low, guys. There's not enough time in the world to get them tender. Definitely cook it on high, and it's going to be perfect. Okay, this is on, and I will see you guys in 6 to 8 hours. It's ready. Oh, I was hoping for more steam, but you know, what are you going to do? Sometimes it steams more than others. All right, guys. So it's been cooking nice and hot on high for about 8 hours. I'm going to grab a bean because I just want to make sure it's cooked to the tenderness that I prefer. Perfect. You want those beans nice and soft. I love serving it over white rice. That's my favorite way. If you guys serve it a different way, let me know in the comments below. I don't really even know another way to serve it. I like the extra sauce over the rice. Ooh, I got to get some of that sausage on top. And this is so hearty. It truly makes a complete meal. Time for my favorite part, taste testing. Okay, I got to get a little beans, a little rice, a little sausage. Let's see if I can get it all in one bite. Ooh. Delicious. My sister just said she's never had red beans and rice that she does like because they're too bland. You guys, this is not bland. It has so much flavor. And that Creole Seasoning, or however you say it, gives it a nice little kick, and it is so amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to try this. And then when you try it, please go to the recipe itself at eatingonadime.com and leave us a review. Give us 5 stars if you're feeling the urge, because we love it, but only if we earned it, okay, guys? And then let us know what you think, because we love hearing from you guys. All right, friends, I'm out of here. I got dinner to eat. I hope I inspired you to make some of your restaurant favorites at home in your crock pot. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss one of our easy recipes. Fun fact, 90% of you guys watching haven't even subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe, because we are getting into crock pot weather, and I don't want you guys to miss out on any of our crock pot recipes. All right, friends, thank you guys so much for joining me today in my sister's kitchen. I gotta go eat more of this red beans and rice, and I will see you guys next time. And until then, don't forget, eat at home by eating on a dime. Bye, friends.